One of the most frequent questions asked me when it comes to writing is dealing with editing. How do I edit my book? Do I pay for an editor? Do I use beta readers or do I use a critique group? Well, all those are viable options. In many ways, it depends upon your personal choice. During my writing career, I have dealt with many in-house editors, including some at the Big Five in New York, and the editor assigned to me when my first book was published back in 2009. Now, one of my agents said the advice she gave me is not to pay for a freelance editor, because once your book is accepted by a publisher, it won't be to their standards, and the in-house editor is going to change it. So I didn't pay for an editor. Now, you can do that because there are a lot of good freelance editors out there now. This was quite a few years ago. And so I would say test the editor. If they're a good, reputable editor, they will be willing to give you a sample before you pay for anything. Because you have to understand, if you're dealing with a freelance editor, there is no guarantee. There is no money-back satisfaction guarantee. You pay them and you get what you get. And maybe an editor or maybe a publisher will accept it, maybe they won't. So you are taking a bit of a risk, and you have to figure a way to recoup it because they can be quite expensive. I've had friends who paid $1,000 to $2,000 to have it edited, and they came back with mistakes. So research the editor. If the editor does not agree to a sample, find another one. As for critique groups, I would do one in person. I belonged to a local writers group, and that gave instant feedback. I would avoid anything online because plagiarism is so rampant, you don't want to risk losing your writing. So again, research your critique group and be able to trust those people, because that's a major thing, even with editors, is trust between the people. As for beta readers, that's what I use. I use beta readers, I use online editing programs, etc. I actually have a multi-step process that I go through. The first thing, of course, is the spell check and the online editing grammar programs that I use. The next is I print it out in hard copies, okay? And I go on here and I will work with it. I'll go through there with my trusty red pen and I'll do what I need to do, because I find that reading on a hard copy on paper is entirely different than reading on the computer. This is also how I give it to my beta readers. I do not send PDFs. The people I use are local, so I can physically hand them a notebook and say, here it is. Write your notes, do your crossing out, whatever you need to do, and hand it back to me. These are people that I know, I trust, and I know they will give me an honest feedback. So then, after that, we of course will typeset it. Now, even while it's typesetting, we all go through it. The next step would be, once I get a proof copy from the printer, and I will go through it again. You will be surprised that even using an editor, that mistakes will go through. The Trader of Eldar actually is 103,000 words. Now, things are liable to slip through even in this stage. So I will do the final proof reading of a hard copy from the printer. Then I will finally put it up for sale. So whichever you choose, whether it is beta readers or a freelance editor or a critique group, an online grammar program, or a combination of all of them. The object is to put out the best that you can. But also understand, even with in-house editors and freelance editors, mistakes are gonna creep through. Just do the best that you can and enjoy the process. I hope that answers your questions about editing.